by child? Child is same, right? So if any element or current element is having something inside, we can say that particular node or that particular element is the child element. What is meant by descendant?
Child of
Descendant
one.
means direct child.
Hmm.
Grandson, we can say.
Okay, child and grandchild. Descendant means all the childs and grandchild. It comes under the descendant. Right. Now we'll see one by one how to, how to work on this. Okay, because it will ask at the time of interview. Okay, or they will give the scenario based question. Okay, so for example, they will say this is the link and I want to click on this particular link. So for example, this is the node. I want to click on this particular node. So this kind of examples they will give. All right. So you should know, I mean, this particular things. Okay. So first thing is that we are going to see what is exactly mean by. Okay. So for example, we are on this particular page. Okay. I'm just trying to inspect this particular node. Okay. And now we are going to see which one. So let's say this ancestor. Right. So what is mean by ancestor? Ancestor means, for example, if I am talking about any node, okay, so for example, here, so let's say I'm currently on this particular node. Okay, so I know how to find this particular node, but I just want to check what are the parents and grandparents available for this particular node. So first of all, I will try to write down the XPath for that particular node. Okay, so this particular element. Okay, so how to write? Okay, because we know that ID is there. So I'm going to say input input at the rate id is equal to what? Id is equal to username, right? So I'm going to say id is equal to username. Id is equal to username, right? And then we're working on this particular ancestor, right? So ancestor means what? Parent. So this one is the parent. Now this one is the grandparent. So whatever the nodes are expanded, all these are coming under the parents and grandparent hierarchy. So see, so in this case, this particular div is parent, this particular div is the grandparent, this particular form is grandparent, this particular div is grandparent, right? So in that case, what we can say? We can say, okay, we can say slash, okay, ancestor, colon, colon. Now, which kind of ancestor I want? So for example, now in this case, I want div, right? So I'm going to say div. So, ancestor div. All right. So it's saying like, div, the name of the div or div tag, there are 8 different div tags available. Okay, so currently, okay, if I remove this ancestor, if I remove the ancestor, currently I am on this particular node. Which node? This input box, right? So input box is there, right? Now I'm interested in the node which is somewhere in this particular hierarchy, somewhere in this particular hierarchy. Okay, so that's the reason I said like, I'm interested in ancestor div. Okay, but it's saying like, it's having eight, eight parent and grandparent, which is having tag div, which is having this particular or tag. Okay, div. All right. So if I say first one is this, first second one is this, third, fourth, fifth, five, six, seven, and 8. So see from this node, it's saying like, this one is the parent, this one is also parent, this one is also parent. So it's showing all the 8 different views which is coming. So for example, let's say I am on this particular node and I was interested in this particular form. Okay, but consider this form is not having let's say ID name or something like that, right? So in that case, I should say like, ancestor form. All right. So if you see, it's saying like, one of one now. I was on this particular node, but I come to know that it's grandparent for this particular node, right? So I'm just saying like, ancestor form, ancestor form, right? So what are the nodes coming in this particular hierarchy? I can easily move to towards that particular node. Right. So what I'm saying, ancestor form. Okay. So tomorrow, for example, let's say I was interested in, let's say, this particular div. Right. I was here, but I was interested in this particular node. Right. So in that case, I'm going to say ancestor div, which is having at the rate ID is equal to, I'm going to give the ID of that particular element. Okay. Which is wrapper, right? Username wrapper. So I'm going to say now if you see it's saying one of one. Okay, so I was here, but I'm able to jump on this particular node by saying ancestor. Okay, so ancestor means it will consider all the parents and grandparent. Okay, now I'm saying div, because of that it will consider only div. If I'm saying let's say form, it is considering the form, whatever the elements or whatever the HTML tag which is coming in this particular hierarchy. So I can able to move on that particular element directly by saying ancestor. Okay, now if you see, whenever I'm saying like, ancestor div, so what I'll just, okay, so whenever I'm saying ancestor div, okay, I'll just remove this one. Whenever I'm saying ancestor div, what it is saying? It's saying eighth element. Okay. See, these are the 8 element, right? But in this hierarchy, it's not considering this input, this input box, right? So if I want to consider this particular input as well, in that case, I have to say ancestor or self. Sorry, ancestor or self, or I have to write it ancestor or self. Okay, because this one is not a div, so that's the reason it's not calculating that particular div. Okay, because I'm saying here div, right? So it's saying 8 of 8, right? But now consider like, I'm on div. Okay. So for example, what I'll do, I'll go here. Okay, so let's say this particular div. Okay, I'll write down the XPath for this particular div. Okay, so instead of this, I'll update this one. And I'll say this one is the div. Okay. Now if you see, whenever I'm saying ancestor, and because I'm on this particular node, right? This particular node. Okay, this particular wrapper, right? So now previously it was not considering the self, right? So I'll just remove the self. I'll just remove the self. Okay. Now how many elements it's showing? 6 element it's showing, right? So if I'm saying like, because I'm just using the ancestor now, right? So if I'm going here, if I'm going here, if I'm going here, okay, so this is the 6th element. Okay, so 6th element it's showing this one. 6th element is this one, right? If I press it again, now it's going to the first element again. Okay, so last element it's showing is this one, right? So ideally, or basically it's not considering the self, right? But I want to consider in this particular XPath self, that means the current node as well. Okay, so in that case I can use or self. Right. So now if immediately if you see one element is increased. Right. Now if I go to the each element, okay, so first element is this one, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Okay, seven is the this one. Okay, that is the self one. Seventh is the self one. Right. So in this way, you can calculate the ancestor or self as well. Okay. So ancestor is there. Okay. Or if you want to consider the current element as well, in that case, you can say ancestor or self. Okay. So basic funda of ancestor, it will consider the parent and grandparent. Okay. It will consider the parent and grandparent. What we are trying to do here, we are just trying to prove that if I am on current node, from the current node by using ancestor, I can able to move any parent and grandparent. I can able to move any parent and grandparent by saying ancestor, right? So I'll give the couple of application level example as well, so that will you will come to know where exactly it should use, right? So next thing that we have is the so ancestor and ancestor or self is clear for everyone, right?
Ajay sir, hello.
Yes, Vipin.
Sir, last point is not clear. Ancestor on self. Why it is not taking when we put ancestor double colon C. So
Ancestor
all
double
the
colon.
div, this
Mm-hmm,
one. So it should take all the ancestor div instead of if we write ancestor double colon div. So it should take all the ancestor tag in that
mm-hmm.
XPath.
Whatever, it's
So,
taking all the ancestor, right?
but it is not taking last one, that sixth element it is taking instead
Right,
of seven.
right. So see what I told about the ancestor. Ancestor means what?
Ancestor means the previous uh, tag node or
Don't
parent
say previous.
node,
Parents,
parents and grandparents.
grandparents, right? Don't say previous. Okay. Um, Parents and grandparents, it will consider only, right? Now, see, I'm on this particular element. So who is immediate due parent? Okay, or who is the parent due for this one?
Form ID, form.
Parent due. I'm not saying parent form. Parent due is who? Who is the parent due?
Uh, div class text field
This
container.
one, right? So this one is the parent due, right? So now, as per our definition, what it will consider? It will consider only parent and grandparent. Now I'm saying like, find out the parents and grandparents who is having tag due. Okay, so it will not consider the form. It will consider this one. Okay, and it will not consider the self as well. Self means currently I am on this particular node, right? So if I go here, if I go here, okay, so currently I'm on this particular node. Whenever I'm saying like, ancestor, it's not considering this one. So that's the reason previously it's showing the count as a 6, right? So if I writing like this, okay, if I writing like this, ancestor due, it's saying the count 6. Why? Because it's considering the all the parents and grandparents, not considering the self. Self means what? The element on which currently I was. I was on which element? Currently, I was on this wrapper. Okay, so if I go here, okay, now if you see, it's considering till this particular element only, but it's not considering the wrapper. See, I'm on 6 of 6. That means I'm on last element, but it's not considering this wrapper. Why? Because we are not saying self. And as per our ancestor definition, it should consider the parents and grandparents. So this node is not a grandparent of self. This node is not parent of self. Okay, so this is the current node. This is not grandparent. This is not parent as well. So that's the reason it's not considering this one. Right. Now my requirement is that it should consider the self as well. Right. So in that case, what I can say? I can say ancestor or
Self.
self. Right. So it will consider the 7 in it. That means now it's considering this wrapper as well. See, wrapper is also considering that is the seventh element. Right. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It will
So
be.
this is the first way, first relationship that we have seen, right? So second relationship that we have parent one. Okay, so now what is meant by parent? Okay, now consider I am on this particular wrapper. Okay, I am on this particular wrapper. Okay, so this wrapper currently I am on. Okay, I am on here I am. Okay, so he this form is parent, and if I say colon, sorry, slash parent colon. So let's say div. Okay, so div is not parent, right? So here in this hierarchy, see, so it's not showing anything, right? So parent div is not available, right? But instead of that, if I say like, parent form, right? So it's saying like, one of one, right? So currently I'm here. So parent div is not there. So parent tag is what? Parent tag is what?
Form.
Form, right? So that's the reason it's saying like, he got one parent, that is the form. So you can move from current node to its parent. So for this current node, the parent is this particular form. So that's the reason I am able to move upward direction. That's the reason I am able to move in upward direction. Clear? So currently I'm on here. So from here, if I'm saying like, parent form, it's just moving to the upward to the parent. Clear? So this is about the parent.
Sir, again, if we want to move on div tag, then again we have to write slash parent double colon div.
Exactly. So if I want to go to this particular div, then I'm going to say slash parent colon div. See, I'm able to move the parent, his parent. Right. Again, I have to move this particular div. Then again, I have to say slash parent colon div. Okay. So here colon and that particular parent word you have to remember. Right. But I'm able to move upward direction with the help of parent. And every time it is going to say one of one because every element is having single parent. Grandparent, there are more, right? But parent is the single one, right? So this is how we can move to the upward direction, right? So I'll just paste it here so that later on you can refer it.
Ajay, hello.
Mhm.
Instead of div, can we write double slash star? Can will be search for that
Where
uh, in the starting. In the
double
starting,
slash star, right? So you
yes,
can write
yes,
it down, right? If you are not sure about the tag, in that case, you can say star here,
yes.
right?
It will
But
not affect. Yeah,
ultimately it's going to find out the element which is having id username
yes,
wrapper. So that is your current node, username wrapper. So it's going to find out the username wrapper only.
okay. But it will not affect that particular div, right? Which we have written, mentioned.
No, it will point that particular div itself. So star is also work. Okay, star means what? I'm not sure about the tag, so that's the reason I'm saying like to star means any tag. Okay, if you are not sure about the tag, then you are going to say star here. Okay, now in this case, I know that this is the div. So that's the reason I'm saying div. Okay, ideally you should not use the star. Okay, but in some cases, if you are not aware of which tag or that tag is dynamic, in that case, you can say like, star.
Okay.
Okay,
Or instead of parent, that particular div ancestor, that particular parent div you have provided, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after double colon, can we also provide the star there ending?
I think no. Okay, so I'll check.
Uh,
Okay, so it's going to the any parent. It's going to the first parent. Okay, ultimately it's going to the parent. Okay, you can say star as well here. Okay, star is also working here. Okay, you can say like this also. Okay. Anyways, it's going to the parent only. Okay.
okay, okay, Ajay, thank you.
Hmm. Okay. Now, next thing that we have sibling. Okay. In sibling, we have two kinds of sibling. One is the following sibling and one is the preceding sibling. Okay, so let's assume. Okay, so what I will do, I'll in this particular wrapper. So this particular div is there, right? So I will just okay. So now if you see, how many divs are available here? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6. Okay, so total 6 divs are available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So totally 6 divs are available here. Okay, inside this particular form. That means all the 6 divs are having single parent. That is the form. Okay, so this is clear for everyone. This particular form is having 6 child. This particular form is having 6 child. Okay, so all those are divs. All those are divs. Okay, now assume I know how to find out this particular element because this particular element is having ID. This particular element is having ID. Consider other element is not having ID. That means this particular element, or all these element is not having. Here they are having ID, but consider that this is because you will get this kind of scenario when you're trying to automate, right? You will get this kind of scenario. One element is having ID, and after that, few elements is not having ID. Few elements are having ID, but you cannot use those. Okay, in that case, you have to take the help from other element, right? So consider I am able to locate this particular element, or I am able to write the XPath for this particular element. Okay, but I'm interested in, let's say, this element, or I'm interested in, let's say, this element. Okay, so in that case, what I will going to do, I'm going to identify this particular element. Okay, so how to identify this particular element? Okay, so for example, this particular element, how to identify? So let's say current
The
address wrapper. Okay, who is going to tell me?
the
Div,
double slash div
div,
at the rate
at the rate
id equal to
id is equal to.
id value.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Correct.
so see, currently I'm on this particular element. Which element? This particular element. See, currently I'm on this particular element. Okay, now I'm interested in, let's say, uh, this particular element. This particular element I'm interested in. All right. So in that case, what I'm going to say?
Following sibling.
Exactly. I'm going to say following sibling. Okay. So let me go to here, and I'm going to say here slash following sibling colon what? Div.
Div.
Right. So if you see from the current address wrapper, I just moved one position down. From the current address, I'm just going one position down. Okay, but now it's saying like, one of three. Why one of three? Because for this particular node, there are three following sibling available. So first following sibling is this one, second one is this, and third one is this. If you see here, so it's on first element now, second and third. So for this element, current address element, there are three following siblings are available there, right? But I'm interested in only first following sibling, that is the permanent address. So in that case, I'm going to give the order, right? So
Index.
I'm going to say one, following sibling one. Okay, here you should not calculate like, one, two, three, four. Currently, we are on this particular node. From this particular node, this is the first node. So that's the reason I'm saying div one. From this particular node, this is the first element, right? Or this is the first node, right? So I'm going to say following sibling one, right? So this is how from the, I mean, any node, you can go for the following element, right? So for that, you have to use the following sibling. Okay. Sibling means sibling means on the same level. Okay, if you are having element on the same level, in that case, to navigate up and down, you can use the following sibling method. Following sibling method you can use. Okay, so to go down, I'm using following sibling, but I want to go up from the current node. That means this current address, I want to go one node up, right? So in that case, instead of following sibling, I'm going to say preceding sibling. I'm going to use this particular preceding sibling. All right. So instead of following, I'm going to say preceding sibling. Now, if you see, currently I'm on, so it's just highlighted everything. What I'll do, I'll just copy this XPath. I'll just refresh this page so you guys will not confuse. Okay. Now, if you see, uh, currently we are on current address. Why I'm saying currently we are on current address? Because see, I can able to identify this particular current address wrapper. So ideally current node is this one. Current node is this one. But for the current node, I'm saying preceding sibling and I'm giving the div1. If I'm not giving div1 for this node, there are two following siblings are there. So sorry, preceding, not following. There are two preceding siblings are there, right? But I am interested in not both. I'm interested in one single element, right? So in that case, I'm going to give the order one. Okay, from this node, first node is this one, and second node is this one. Okay, so see, from here you have to count. From this node you have to count. You should not count like, this is the first and this is the second. No, from this particular node, this is the first and this is the second. Okay, so that's the reason I'm giving one. Suppose if I want to go to this particular node, okay, this particular node, in that case, I have to say two. Okay, now if it is just moving to the one step above, right? So this is how you can calculate the your preceding sibling. Okay, so following sibling is going, down. Okay, and preceding sibling it's going up one direction. Uh, uh, when you are having elements on the same level, right?
Hello, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one of my interviewer was using slash and dot like that. So, can we move to the following or preceding sibling like that?
How?
That slash after that particular slash after wrapper.
After wrapper,
Yeah. Yes. After wrapper slash.
slash dot dot.
Yes. So actually, he was using like that only. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm asking.
yeah, right. But what exactly it's doing, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
let
yes.
okay. So see, currently we are on. Okay, this is I'm hearing first time. Okay.
Because I got means that time I was also hearing first time that like can we use the double slash and dot dot for
Slash.
slash and dot dot
Okay. So currently I'm here. Okay, on current address. Okay, when I'm saying like slash
single
and
dot
dot. Okay, it's
single
going to the
dot.
parent. Okay, for the single, it's on current node. Single, it's not having any impact. Okay,
Yes.
when I'm saying dot dot, it's moving to the parent.
But how about the following sibling? If we go down, it's going
Hmm.
up.
Hmm.
How about to use for that?
Okay, so dot dot means parent.
Oh,
Dot dot means it's moving to the parent. So instead of parent, you can say like this one as well. Okay, so where is the parent? Okay, so you can say here instead of this, you can say slash dot dot. Okay, so it's moving to the parent. Or if I say slash dot dot. Okay, it's ultimately moving to the parent only. Now why it's saying like one of five slash dot dot. Okay, one of one. If I'm saying double slash dot dot. Okay. Okay, so dot dot is going to the parent. Okay, Avinash.
Yes, yes. Yeah, Ajay, thank you. Because he was also using like that in that case, so I have asked for that only.
Okay, so if I'm okay, so most of the cases, if you are using like dot dot or such kind of notation, so there might be chances your PR will get rejected. Okay,
Yeah,
why?
yeah. Yes.
Because see, it's not readable, right? Where
Yes, right.
if I'm writing like okay, but anyways, I mean it's just shortcut of you are using parent method. Okay,
Yes.
maybe you can use that one as well. Okay, it's not right or wrong.
Yes, Ajay. Thank you.
Okay,
Hello,
now next.
Ajay sir.
Mhm.
Uh, Same thing that we have done in ancestor or self. So can we do it with following sibling or self if we want to consider all the node, including the current node?
Sorry.
Sir, in ancestor tag, we have considered that ancestor hyphen or self
Mm-hmm.
to consider that particular current tag. So
Mm-hmm.
same thing can we consider with the sibling? Parent is one, but in the sibling there are suppose we are on current node and there are three following sibling or three preceding sibling. So can we write that sibling preceding sibling hyphen or self?
No, no. Or sorry, you are asking about. I
Yes,
was
ancestor
I was
similar
there
to
on
that.
dot dot method only, so that's the reason.
Oh,
Okay, so ancestor or self is not here. Okay, self you should not use this. I mean self is not there. Okay, for this only two things you can apply: following and preceding. For the sibling, we have following sibling and preceding sibling only.
okay,
Okay.
okay, sir.
Okay, I was asking. I was thinking like you are asking about the this dot dot something like we can use in ancestor or not.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So next that we have child. Okay, so how to move to the child? Everyone is using this one, right? So tell me, for example, um, currently I am on this particular node. Okay, so that is this one. Okay, which one? This particular input box. So let's assume currently I am on this particular input box or this particular wrapper, current address wrapper. Or let's do one thing. Okay, so let's do one thing. Okay, currently, let's say I'm on this particular current. Uh, so let's say currently I'm on this particular form. For example, currently I'm on form. Okay, so this particular form. So how to identify the form? So how to identify the form? So in that case, I'm going to say this is the form. Okay, which is having ID. Okay, so ID should be at the rate ID is equal to, let's say, this particular form ID. All right, so now it's saying like, one of one. All right, so how to move to the child element from this one? So let's say I want to go to the first child. So how to move to the first child? From this node, how to go to the child? This is very easy, right? You have to tell me.
Slash div sub then
Mm-hmm.
bracket 1.
Correct. So you have to say slash div. And if you're interested in first, you can say one. Right. So this is how we can go to the child element. This is how we can go to the child element. How? How we can go? With the help of slash. With the help of slash, we can go for the child. Okay. If I am interested in child, then I'm going to say slash div. Okay, so it's going to give me all the child. Okay, so currently I'm on this particular form. So it's saying like, there are 6 child available. Okay, there are 6 child available. But let's say I'm interested in only, let's say, first child, then I'm going to say first child. Okay, so basically here, this particular slash we are using for the child. This particular slash we are using for the child. Okay, so for the child only you have to use the slash. If you are on current node, and if you want to go for the child of that particular node, then you are going to use the slash, single slash. Right. So single slash is for the child. Move to the child. Right. So next thing that we
Ajay
have.
sir, Ajay
Mhm,
sir,
mhm.
in the same XPath that we are searching, can this also works the parent node in the on the web page,
Mhm.
parent node, and then we can write child double quote and div.
Okay. So
It will work or not? Just want to know. Child, same thing.
child,
Uh,
huh?
After
Next.
form closing of subscript,
Mhm,
just remove this div1
mhm,
and remove slash.
mhm.
Sorry, yeah, child double quote
So you
div.
have to say slash child. Oh,
Yes,
you are saying like this.
yes, like parent we have
Hmm.
searching child
Child double quote
div
div. Yeah, it is also work, and in that case you have to say one. Okay,
one.
but this is not required. So this method is there, but instead, if you are going with the help of slash, you are going to the child itself. So no need to say child. You have to use the slash only. Okay, so don't use that particular slash. Sorry, child method is there. So instead of that, you can say like div. Okay, so this is the shortcut, right? So you can use this one.
Okay, sir.
Ajay,
Mm-hmm.
can we means that before the slash, can we use that dot there? Can we try that?
Which one?
Uh, this before the div, you have given this slash, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before the slash, can we give the that particular star? Can we check what it will
Before
search before the slash?
which slash? This one.
This slash
And you have to say
star
star.
star
Huh?
and
Mm-hmm.
slash. No. Dot and star. Dot and dot
Mm-hmm.
dot and slash.
What you have to do? Yeah.
Okay, double slash.
Dot double slash.
Dot double slash. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
it is not searching.
Okay. So child, just remember you have to use the slash. Okay. Don't go in
Yes.
complex, use the child and something like that, right? So with the help of slash, and we are using everywhere, right? Slash, right?
Yeah.
So no need to use the complex that thing colon child because we have shortcut slash. Just go for the slash.
Yes, yes. Actually, I was just checking it. Like,
Okay.
thank you.
Uh, then next thing that we have is the uh, descendant. And what I told about the descendant, what is meant by descendant?
Mama, child of child.
Child and grandchild. Child
Yes.
and grandchild means
Grandchild.
your descendant, right? So assume that currently I am on this particular node. Okay, so for example, currently what I'll do here. So let's say currently I'm on this app ID. Okay, and it's having multiple, or maybe what I will do. Okay, so let's consider this particular due its current. Okay, so let's say I'm on this particular due. Okay, or maybe I'm on this particular form. Okay, so this particular form currently I'm on. So for that I have said like form ID is equal to this one, and now it's saying like there is one of one, right? So let me refresh it again. Okay, so currently I'm here on this particular form, right? So if I open this, it's having multiple child, and those child is also having some childs available, right? Okay, now if I say like slash, and let's say descendant, and then I'm saying colon, and let's say due. Okay, now it's saying like 16. Okay, which are those? So this is the first one, then we have second, third. Here we don't have anything. Here we don't have any due. Okay, it will search for the due only because I'm mentioning here due, right? So far we got 3. Okay, so here we got 2. Okay, 3 plus 2, how much? 5.
Five.
All right. So likewise, it will search for for this particular node, how many childs are there and how many grandchilds are there. So it will search for the everyone, right? Childs and grandchild. Okay, so far it's saying like 16 childs and grandchilds available there. 16 childs and grandchilds available there. So out of all these childs, so if you are interested in, let's say, any particular child, okay, so let's say you are interested in child uh, which is which is having, let's say, ID is equal to output, which is having ID is equal to output. So you are interested in that. So in that case, you are going to say due at the rate ID is equal to output output. Okay, so let's say currently I am on this particular node, and from this particular node I am just able to move on this particular due. I'm able to move on this particular due by saying like descendant. Okay, so descendant means child and grandchild. Descendant means child and grandchild. Okay, so at the time of interview you will get this kind of question. Have you used dynamic XPath? Are you able to write the dynamic XPath? What is meant by ascendant? What is meant by descendant? Sorry, what is meant by ancestor? What is meant by descendant, right? So this kind of question they will ask. Ancestor and descendants. What is meant by sibling? What is meant by following sibling? What is meant by preceding sibling? How to, or directly they will give the example. Okay, so I want XPath for this particular element. All right. So this is how we can move to the any child element. Okay, with the help of descendant. All right. So in descendant, we have that particular method, descendant or self. Okay, so now if you see, it's saying like, 16 element, right? Now, if I'm saying like, descendant or self, descendant or self. Now, previously it was saying 16. Now as well, it's saying 16. Why? Self means what? Current node. And current node is which one? Which one is current node?
User form.
User form, right? So this one is the current node. This particular
Form,
form is
yes.
current one. But I'm saying like, div, descendant div or self. Okay, so it will search if self is div or not. So in this case, self is not div, self is form. So that's the reason it's not considering. That's the reason it's not considering. If we want self should be included here, so in that case you can say star. Okay, star, it's saying different count. Okay, so
If we write form, sir,
form in that case it will give the only one, right? It's saying only one, right? Because there is only one form which is available. Okay, there are no other child form are available. Child or grandchild form is available, right? So in that case, self will say only same count. Okay, so if I am on this particular node, if I'm on this particular node, and here if I'm saying like if I'm using that particular method, in that case it will work. So for example, what we'll do, we'll say we are going to use the class. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to use, only ascendant, sorry, descendant. Okay. In descendant, how many element it's going to show me? So let's say it's showing me the 16 element, right? If I'm here and I'm saying descendant div, it's showing me 16 because my current node is this one. My current node is this one. And from this node, I'm saying descendant. So it got 16 descendant, right? Now, instead of descendant, I'm interested in current node as well. Then I'm going to say, sorry, then I'm going to say
descendant or self.
descendant or self. Descendant on self. Right. So in that case, I'm getting the 17. That means one self is also included here. Right. So in that case, you can use the descendant or self. Descendant or self. This is the descendant or self. Right. So these are the few things that those are important while writing the XPath. Right. So far we have, covered how to get use the text, how to use the contents method, how to use at the rate attribute, how we can, write down the XPath. So we have seen the multiple things so far, right? So let's take one example. Okay. You guys have to tell me, okay, how to do it. Right. So, okay. So assume that, okay. So here every element is having ID, name or something like that. But my requirement is that I want to I'm interested in this particular element. Okay, which is input box. Okay, so in this particular input box, I'm interested. Okay, and I don't have ID, name, or something like that to inspect this particular or to identify this particular element. Okay, but okay, so first of all, so assume that this particular element is not having any ID or name available so that I can use it. Okay, so only input is available here. Okay, so in this case, I am interested in this particular element. Okay, but I don't have ID here, right? So, but if you see here, I am having label available here. So with the help of text method, I can able to identify this particular text. All right. Can from this particular element, can I identify this particular element? Is it possible? If I identify this particular element, that is the full name, from this particular element, can I identify this one as well? Is it possible?
Yes, sir.
Uh, okay.
Yes.
Who is going to tell me XPath for this? Just try. I'll do
I'll
it.
try,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me. Okay. So first of all, we have to identify this one. Okay. So this is the label.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So slash slash
Label.
label. So let me.
We can use the text.
Okay. Label and then
Uh, Text.
@class.
text.
That
No,
Okay.
no. Text is equal to
Class we can use, ID you can use. Okay, but let's use the text. Okay, so I'll say equals to
text equal to full name.
full name.
text is equal to full name. Okay, now I got this particular element. Okay, but I'm not interested in this element, I'm interested in this element. Okay, I have to move from this element to this element. How to do it?
Following.
Sir, slash div
First
slash
plus D.
input.
Mm-hmm.
First go to the parent of that label one.
All right, so
Then the
following
following
sibling,
sibling.
correct. So directly following sibling, I should not use here. Why?
Okay.
Why should not use?
Because that's the
It is on the same
child of
level.
See,
no, it's
I'm
not
on
on the
this
child
particular element.
same level.
Right,
Yeah.
correct. So I'm on this particular element, and you are saying following sibling. Following sibling means, so let's say below this. So
Yeah.
below this, there is no element, right? If you see this
Okay.
div is started here and div is ended here. Okay, so in this particular div, there is only one element. So this div is not, this label is not having any element on the same level. So you should not use the following sibling, right? But first of all, you have to understand the relationship. First of all, you have to understand the relationship. Now, if you want to, if you are interested in this particular element and we got this particular element, so we have to understand, okay, what is the relationship between this element and this element? Okay, or how I can move from this element to this element. Okay, now if you see, currently we are on this particular element. So from this element, if you see, this is the parent of this element. Okay, now if I go to the parent, okay, from parent, okay, if I, okay, so assume that this, from this element you just move to the parent, and now if you see the current element parent, okay, or this particular parent is having one node at the same level. So see, this particular node or this particular div and this particular div is on same level. Now you can use the following sibling. Okay, and now the in that following sibling you have that input box. Okay, then you can say child of this particular following sibling. Okay, so first thing, from this node you have to move to the parent, and from parent you have to move to the following sibling. Okay, so how to do it? Text slash, okay, parent.
Parent.
Okay, we will
Slash
use the Avinash
parents.
method. Okay, so
Yeah.
slash slash this one. Okay, so I moved to the parent. Okay, so from parent to how to move to the child. Okay, which parent is moving?
Following sibling.
From the label, why it's moving to the directly this one? Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, instead of this, I will use my own method. Okay, because see, it's just moving to the this one wrapper. I don't want to move that particular element, right? So
Try
instead of
with
that
single dots, sir.
single dot, it will highlight the current one. Mm, no, it's not working like this. Okay, dot dot slash. Okay, let it be. So I'll say slash colon colon, sorry, slash parent colon colon
colon,
div,
div,
right?
Mm.
So see, I'll just refresh. The two elements are yellow, so it just confusing us. Okay, so from this particular label, we just move to the one level up. Now, where we have to go? We have to go from this element to this element because our targeted element is here. Our targeted element is here. Okay, so for this element and this element is your
sibling,
same level sibling.
Sibling.
Sibling is there, right? So can I use the following sibling
slash,
here,
Following
right?
slash
So
sibling.
following
Yes.
sibling,
following sibling colon colon div again,
div,
Div.
right? Now I am here. So can I say
Slash
like
at
input.
the
input,
input, slash input,
Yes.
right? Input. Now see, from this element we have identified this element. Okay, so these particular things are very important. Okay, following sibling, preceding sibling, ancestor, and all. Right. So at the time of interview as well, they will ask, and as well if you join any organization, there you are find try to identify some element. In that case, this method will help you. Okay, try it because see, uh, in Chrome, if it is the same scenario, it will not give me uh, uh, I mean, short path, right? So it will give the very long thing or very, I mean, not readable kind of XPath it will give, right? So you should not copy like this. Okay, so copy and then copy XPath. So sometimes it will work, but every time this particular method will not work. Or although this is not recommended, try to write your own XPath. Okay, so that you will not stuck anywhere. Okay, because that particular method will not help you always. Okay, this particular method will not help. Okay, so this is very easy. You have to only remember the few things. Okay, and you can able to write down the XPath or CSS for the any kind of element. Right. So next thing that we have is the, let's say, next example that we will take. Okay, now this is very I mean most of the time you will get this kind of example. Okay, so and real time as well you will get this kind of example. Okay, when you are working on automation, right? So now you have to tell me, everyone able to see this particular chart, right? This particular table, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now see, uh, so let's say here Alden is there, right? So this is Alden, right? So I want to delete only this particular user, Alden user. Okay, I want to delete the Alden. There are multiple Alden, right? So I'm interested in deleting this particular Alden only. Okay, but this table is a dynamic table. This table is dynamic table. There might be chances before Alden some entry will be get added, some entries from here will be get deleted, or user is continuously adding the data here. Okay, so it's not always Alden is coming on the second position. Alden might be came here, Alden might be came here, Alden might be came different location, right? So in this particular table. So in this case, how you are going to delete Alden's entry? Okay, I'll just try to inspect this particular. Okay. Now you have to tell me how you are going to delete the Eldance entry. Okay. So see this particular button I will inspect. Okay. Now if you see it's having delete to, delete record to. Okay. So someone can say like, you can identify this particular delete button and you can click on that. Okay. It will delete all that. But what I said, like, this particular entry is dynamic, right? So now it's having, delete record 2 but ID, but now it's coming on third position. Now it's coming on fifth position. So this ID will be also get changed, right? So I'm interested in this particular Aldance to delete the Aldance entry. So how to do it?
Contains method.
Mhm.
We can use contains, then text, and then providing Eldon.
Okay. Okay. So how you are saying, you know? So let's say text Alden, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So this div text.
Text equal to
Text is equal to
Eldon.
Alden. Yes. Div text is equal to Alden. Right. Then next, see, you got this particular one, but we are interested in this one. Okay. So you should click on this particular button, that is the delete button, which is in front of Alden's entry. There are multiple delete buttons here, multiple edit buttons here. So in that particular buttons, I am interested in this particular one. So how to do it? Okay, you are
Sir,
in
we
correct
have
way. Okay,
find, yes, we have found this Eldon element, and through that we will traverse to that particular delete.
exactly, exactly. Okay, so first try of the Bindu is also correct. Okay, because first of all we have to find out the Elden, and from this particular Elden we have to move to the uh, delete button, right? So now we are here. From here, how we can traverse here? What is the relation between this node and this node?
Uh, we will go to the parent node, and its parent node is,
No.
so
First of all, tell me this node and this node is having any relationship or not? This
yes,
node
sir.
is parent of this?
Sibling.
Yes,
Yes. This is not parent, right? This is not child. Then these are the siblings,
sibling.
You can use the
right?
following sibling
Yes, we can
Yes.
use the following sibling.
slash
Okay.
following
So
sibling.
what I'm going to say here, slash
Following
slash
sibling.
Slash,
following
Div
following
sibling
sibling
div
colon div.
div
Okay. Now
and
it's saying like
whatever you want to do.
one of six. It's saying, right? So what I will do, I know that it's going to have one span, which is going to have so let's say tooltip is going to have delete, right? So instead of giving number here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say like um
Spans.
span. Okay, so let's say here I'm going to say inside this particular div. I'm going to say
@span
we are here, right?
/span.
No, no.
Sir,
Inside this, there is one div is
This
there, and inside the div, one span is there, right? So I have to say like, slash div. Okay. Now if you see, I am on this particular one, and inside that I can say like, span.
span.
Okay. Still it's giving the two span, right? So one is for the edit button and one is for the delete button. So what I will do, I'll
So
say span.
span to
Span 2 is also correct, but I'm having one title here. So for this title is
@div.
delete, and for this title is edit. So what I'll do, I'll say at the rate
Title
title is equal to delete.
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 At the rate title is equal to delete. Okay, clear this one. Now if you see, it is going to highlight the button in front of Alden only. See? Okay. Now what I will do, we can have multiple Aldens as well, right? But this particular email address is going to have unique for Alden itself, right? Because every person is having their unique email address, right? So what I'm going to do, instead of saying Alden, I'm going to
Ajay
say
sir,
here email address,
Ajay,
right? Just minute.
yes.
Instead of this particular using name, I'm going to say, email address. Okay, so if I'm replacing email address here, okay, see, it's working similar way, right? So first of all, if someone is giving this kind of example, what you have to do, you have to, check where from which entry I can uniquely identify the LDN. All right. So here email address is there, or sometime name as well you can use. Okay, but here clear, I'm having this particular email address here, right? So I'm going to use the email address. So I'm saying like, div text email address following sibling, and then I'm using likewise. Okay. If you don't want to, write like this, then I mean, so let's say you are not interested in this particular div. In that case, I'm going to say double slash. Okay. So double slash means after this div, whenever see here how I'm using double slash, so you can use here as well double slash. Double slash means after this node, wherever you're finding the matching, like delete one, it will highlight that one. You can say like this one. Okay. Now see, we got the one of one element. We got the one of one element. So tomorrow, so let's say if I'm interested, if I'm interested to click on delete button of this particular guy delete button, I'm interested. So same XPath will use, only will change the email address. Okay, if I am updating the email address here. Okay, so see, this delete button is highlighted. So this is so whatever the email address that I have entered, so similar person delete button is highlighted. That means if I'm clicking on this particular, or if I'm clicking on this particular element, so it is going to press this particular delete button. Correct. So if you want to, if you are interested in this person's delete button, okay, so in that case as well, because typically how you enter the entry or how you delete the entries. So let's say I'm working on automation, right? So what I will do, so let's say I got the functionality. Okay. Okay. So let's say there is user registration related form there. Okay. So where what you can do, you can add the user. You can add the user. This is the first test case. Add user is your first test case. Okay, second test case, edit user. And third test case is, so let's say delete user. Okay, now let's say you are adding one user. Okay, you are adding one user. Okay, now for you, there are two choices. Okay, either what you can do, you can edit the first user. Okay, in this particular chart, you can edit the first user. So your automation script always going to search first element on this particular table, and it's going to edit the first user itself every time. Or second way, that what you can do, you can store the email address of what you have created. Okay, and for same user you can edit. Okay, and for the delete as well, instead of deleting the first entry, what you can say, whatever you have created through the automation, just delete that particular user. For that, what are you going to do? You are going to store the email address in one variable, and you are going to write the XPath in such a way it should delete that particular entry. We'll come to that particular point later. Okay, but you'll get this kind of scenario. You'll get this kind of scenario. Now tell me how to delete. Click on edit button here, edit button, or what we can do for the edit, you can try it by your own. Okay, so you have to write the XPath of edit button. You have to write the XPath of edit button. Okay, so this is clear for everyone.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Ajay, sir, uh,
Mhm,
there is last confusion, sir. We have found the Eldon text through the XPath.
mhm.
So through that, first we have to go to its parent, and through parent we have to traverse to its sibling. No?
Why you have to go to the parent? Why should we go to the parent?
Sir, because these are the child of this div class.
See, I'm able to directly find out the relationship between this tag and this tag, right? So let's say for example, we're here. So let's say on Alden, right? So for example, let's say you're able to find out the Alden, right? So I'm interested in this particular element. Which element? This particular element. So this element is inside this element, right? And now currently I'm on Alden, right? So this element and this element is directly having relationship. What relationship they are having? They are sibling, or you can say the brothers and sister, right? So this element in this element is directly having relations. So why we have to go to the parent? There is no need to
Yes.
go to the parent, right? If it is, I mean, this element is somewhere like, inside this particular element. So in that case, you are
Mhm.
going to, go to the parent, and from that parent, you are going to this particular element. In that case, it's happened, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
suppose if you got the requirement, delete the user just below the Alden. Delete the user just below the Alden. In that case, how you are going to do it? Delete the user just below the Alden. Okay, so Alden is here. So we know the XPath, how to find out the Alden. Okay, so this is how I can find out the Alden. Okay, now from here, if I move to here, this is the parent, or this is the your your grandparent, right? So I want to move to the grandparent first. So is there any method to move on the grandparent? Why I'm going to the grandparent? So if you see this grandparent and this particular okay, so I have to move to the, if I move to the, so let's say this parent, okay, so let's say grandparent, here no record is there, right? So here is the next entry available, which we are talking about. Okay, so let me show you guys. Okay, so currently we are here, and I just want to delete the entry just below the Elden, right? So if I go here, it's just Elden, right? So Elden is having one parent, and that parent is also having one parent. Okay, if I collapse that one, okay, and if I go to the just down, okay, so here we can say the down one entry. Elden's down, this one entry is there, right? So uh, in that case, I can say, okay, first of all, I have to identify the Elden. Okay, that we have identified already. Okay, from Alden, we have to move to the grandparent. Okay, so directly grandparent you can move, or you can say double parent as well, right? So I will use the, I will say, let's say parent. Okay, so I'll say slash parent, or let's say dot slash. Okay, now dot slash is not working. Okay, instead of this, I'll say slash parent colon div. Okay, see, I'm going to the, I'm now on parent, but I'm not interested in this parent itself, because see, for this one, because I want to go to this particular node, right? This particular div. So for that, I have to go again one more parent, right? So how to go to the parent? So for that as well, I'm going to say parent colon div. Okay, now I'm on that parent, but this parent where I'm exactly now, this is having one following sibling. See, this is the following sibling, right? So I'm going to say following sibling slash following sibling colon div.
Div.
Okay, and I'm interested in just first one, right? So I'm saying first, right? Now, okay, now you have to move to the this one, from this one to, you have to move to the that this one. Okay, so, or maybe you can directly say, now if you are here in that, you're going to say slash span. See, there are 7 span. Okay, we'll go one by one. Okay, so slash, currently I'm here. Okay, from here, okay, why it's, let me copy first. Let me refresh it once. Okay, so we are here. Okay, so inside this, I think we are on incorrect node. So we should on this particular node. So sibling is incorrect. I'm interested in this particular node, not this one. Okay, why it's not moving to this one? Okay, we are interested in this one, right? So our node, that is the current node, is, so if I remove the following sibling, then I will go to the, I'll get the current node. Okay, so currently we are here. Okay. Okay. Okay, currently I'm here. Oh, ID is incorrect. So just below the Elden, right? So I should pass here Elden's entry. Okay. So currently I'm on Elden's parent. Okay. And just below the Elden's, there is this particular entry, right? So in this case, I'm going to say following sibling slash follow colon div. Okay. Now I'm here. So here I'm going to say slash, or maybe instead of saying slash, I'm going to say slash div. Okay, here I'm going to say slash span. So there are multiple span. Here I'm going to say at the rate delete. Okay, so I just take one shortcut here. Okay, so instead of going each and every, you can follow that, div, then again div, then again div, and then span, because this is the so see here div, then div, and then span. Okay, what I did when I reached to this particular element, I just said like double slash, and because I'm saying in on this particular node any child. Okay, so for any child I'm saying double slash. Okay, which is having span, and that span is having title delete. So that's the reason I'm saying double slash span, because this is not a direct child. So for this node, for this particular node, this particular span is not a direct child. Okay, so that's the reason I'm saying here double slash. Okay, instead of double slash you can say descendant as well, descendant and this one. Okay, but I'm using double slash directly. Okay, so this is how we can write the XPath. Okay, so initially you will feel this is confusing. This is you will because there are so many things that you have to remember. Okay, but if you do the practice, regular practice, right, to writing your own XPath. Initially, try the small thing like using text, using contents, using then go for the sibling, following sibling. Okay, then parents. Okay, but I mean, once you try to use all these techniques, okay, then you are able to write the XPath for any kind of element. Okay, you will not stuck writing the XPath for any kind of element. Okay, anyways, you will get the way to reach to any particular element if you are following all these methods, right? And that is only important. If you're good in writing the XPath, it will save you a lot of time. So here, if you are not see, if you in same example, suppose I am not able to write this kind of XPath. Writing the XPath is only single line. But if people is not aware of this particular technique, what they will do, they will find out all the elements from this particular table. Then they will read the text of each and every element. Okay, then they will check if the email address is this one, then they will uh, uh, basically they will use the multiple for loops, and they will go reach out this particular element. So that technique will take a lot of time, and again it's not sure, I mean every time it will work out. Okay, so short solution that we have, write a XPath in such a way it will directly give the delete button of that particular person. Okay, so writing XPath is important. Okay, so I think that's it for today's session. If you are having any question, you can stay on call. Otherwise, we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Ajay sir,
Hmm.
I have one issue in the setup. Can I show you now?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just stop the recording. And if you are having any issues, you are stuck
Ajay sir,
somewhere, you can stay on
this
call. Okay.
is, yeah, this is bit confusing right now. I mean, bit complex for